Can I help you?
Yes, this is Kiana. I'm scared because I'm trying to flee this man and try to make a remedy to find a place to go. And the police
Mm-hmm.
department keeps coming on my home. They're illegally monitoring my phone. And they've enlisted places to put me out like 50 something times when my abuser was mad, blatant lies, and like I expressed to you while I was gone. So they just came over here on my own, and I was on the phone with the Texas Rangers. And for years, every time I'm trying to flee this man, they react with violence. So they're coming out on their own, bullying me and letting this man vent out his rage. But I find it peculiar.
Have you not called him?
I'm
Did
expressing to
you
you.
call them this morning?
Can I express to you what happened?
Okay.
They're coming out here on their own, venting out this man's, and they react with violence and rage for trying to flee
What
this
kind of
man.
violence are they doing to you?
Well, one example of the violence is coming out here on their own, and they've had 30 something false arrests, which I addressed to you. That's kidnapping.
Okay. As far as I know, from my understanding is that they had come out here when you telephoned them.
Okay, let me express what I'm saying. First off, I'm trying to flee abuse right now because you guys are putting me out illegally and you're denying me case management to flee this man and demanded that I get mental health treatment, trying to get case management. That puts my safety at risk for all locations to treat me that way. Okay, and then when you put me out, my ID came up missing. When you put me out, I can't get help. Law enforcement lashes out with violence for me trying to flee this man year after year, even with assaults and arrests that I gave you. So they came out there on their own.
What violence have they done to you? Have the police done to you?
Well, they tried to set me up.
Today.
They came out on their own and tried to set me up, and I had to call the Texas Rangers to interrupt them trying to set me up. They won't investigate why I've been calling all these years, and people are hanging up, leaving me in abuse all over the United States. Everywhere I'm calling is full and hanging up to cover for crimes. I have a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, but these attorneys are acting bizarre, don't want me to have any legal knowledge, and never return my calls. I think my phone is hacked. That's why I needed to record my calls, and you demanded that I not. Those are all I'm a government witness, and there's all kind of federal crimes happening to me right now. And I'm trying to expose
what is it that you want me to do?
Well, I am concerned that if you are over this property and police are allowed to slander me, that's a false report and terrorize me.
Well, I do not see that the police are
I don't know
slandering you at all.
I'm informing you. I have uploads stating don't send the police out, and they're sending them out anyway. And I expressed to you that they were coming out on your own. And I'm being slandered in this documentation saying that I'm calling them out
And
numerous
where is
times.
the
And they've
violence?
done it multiple different times.
Where is the violence?
Well,
Kiana?
someone covering for someone threatening to poison the water supply, rape me, and all kind of crimes that have already been done. Covering for someone coming at me with a car and my friends.
Okay, so
That's violence.
What is it that you want me to do for you right now so you feel safe?
I imagine not evict me to cover for their crimes. That would be one start because it's happened 50 times.
I cannot change that eviction.
Well, that's illegal. That eviction.
We will go to the county judge, to the precinct judge, to file for eviction because you told me to go that direction.
I didn't. That's a blatant lie, ma'am. I didn't want to be put out for trying to flee this man like I've experienced 50 something times.
I'm sorry, but your behavior has brought it to that.
That's a false report, ma'am. Making false reports is criminal. And slandering me for trying to flee abuse. You knew when I moved to this property. I don't want you making false reports because it's happened 50 something times. You knew entering this crisis this situation that I was fleeing a domestic violence crisis, and I told you involved law enforcement. I told you this up front. You saw on the phone when I cut off my phone and that because I didn't want the address exposed, and then I cut it back on and it immediately said that it was in Victoria. Are you recording this conversation? I would like to report once again.
No, I am asking you, are you recording this conversation?
Why would that be relevant? In Texas, there's a one consent.
It is relevant to me because you have not asked my permission.
In Texas, there's a one-party consent. In Texas, there's a one-party consent, especially when it involves criminal activity. I think that you're trying to sidetrack the fact that you witnessed that time I cut my device on after giving you my address, that it said you're in Victoria. And then the email that was addressed to you, going over a conversation that we had where you stated don't upload my, expose the emails this man sends me. You said you didn't send me that email. But yet and still that email.
Kiana? We are not getting anywhere. You're talking.
I think that you're making false
Okay.
reports and this endangers my
And
safety, that you would cover for someone threatening to rape me, murder me, and poison water supplies. But I would like to go on the fact that
I'm ending this conversation because it's not really a conversation.
So how do I flee abuse if you won't give me case management or no one else? How I need to find a safe environment. Who is it? Who are you?
Okay.
Oh, maybe my caseworker can help me since nobody else will. Thank you. They're doing very well.
You're not doing very well.
No.
I'm sorry to hear that. Tell me.
Okay, so I was on the phone. I've been calling all kind of each time that my abuser's mad, he's been able to put me out 50 something times, and he gets there's an email saying that he gets sexual gratification, and all the people I come in contact with cover for his crimes, and the police react with violence and enlist parties to put me out, and it's been happening years. So it's a safety concern because he's saying that he's going to rape, murder me, and do all these different things. And he's reacted with violence and setups by law enforcement, which is essentially kidnapping. And everyone is leaving me in this man's abuse. And they've been doing it years.
Scary situation.
Yes.
Would not want to be in that situation. And to have emails from someone threatening to harm you is not very comforting at all.
And then having everyone I come in contact with be accessories and leave me in it.
Okay. So that's the thing, like you've reported this to the police countless times.
Right. And this location is depriving me of case management. I can't get case management anywhere. And I haven't been able to get it years. They leave me in this man's abuse.
Okay. So the location here, where you're staying here now, is depriving you of services, case management services.
Right. And you are too as well.
Okay. Yes, I'm depriving you of services too.
I mean, what are you want to help me flee him?
If you are in a situation where he's coming around, if you feel like he's coming here.
Yeah, he's using law enforcement. They just came here and tried to set me up.
Okay, so he's in cahoots with the law enforcement.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, and then he's in cahoots with locations I live, and they put me out for him and cover for his crimes, which makes him accessories and all parties that cover for him.
Okay, so I'm in cahoots. The people over.
Well, though, I would like to concentrate on the fact that you have evidence of death threats.
Okay.
And you have evidence that someone was poisoning the water supply, and you said that it smelled like sulfur. And I would like to address the fact that I haven't been able to flee for 10 years.
Okay.
And then people sidetrack and deflect on conversations, and the simple fact still remains that it's impossible for me to flee.
So you're wanting to flee.
Right.
You want to get out of here.
I mean, I don't want them evicting me for this man to conceal his crimes, and this happened 50 times unaddressed. Housing discrimination, the FBI investigates.
Well, I don't want you to be put out because of that. I mean, you have every right to have a home.
Right, and then they're demanding that I not record this man's crimes and don't want me exposing crimes they're committing and being terrorized, which violates my constitutional rights. But no one has interrupted 50-something times.
Okay. So do you want to go ahead and talk about the solution here? Because I know you're big on finding the solution to this problem. How can you feel safe in this apartment? Because you have a really cute place here. I love the
That's why they're putting me out. It's happened repeatedly over and over. When my apartment, I would not do anything. I slept on an air mattress, and I believe there's voyeurism crimes. And this is
on an air mattress.
Yeah, because I couldn't get law enforcement. And I knew that this man interrupts my housing on a whim whenever he's upset. So when I was sure that he couldn't interrupt it, I started fixing up my place, and immediately they strategized a false arrest or put out like they're doing here.
Oh no! So when you slept on the air mattress, did you fall and hurt yourself?
I don't really understand how that would be relevant.
I was just curious. I mean, you slipped and fell. I mean, I would hope you weren't hurt.
I don't. Countless times, I'm really not hurt. I didn't say that. A lot of locations misunderstand what I'm saying. I thought it was deliberate.
Well, so it sounds like what you're saying is you were trying to make your apartment cute.
Right, and it was immediately interrupted, just like here. Someone sadistic, they can have millions or however much they have, but they don't want me having crumbs.
Yeah, so it sounds like the air mattress was just another one of those situations where your life is being interrupted. Is that relevant?
I think that the air mattress is a representative of how that I've been in fear, and someone was able to abuse power that they have over government officials, which is a felony, influencing them, including mental health providers that want to be in cahoots, and all these parties that deprive me of case management. That it's criminal charges. They're essentially aiding and abetting this man trying to help conceal his crimes, and that's criminal, even if sheriffs or whoever is telling these people to do it, law enforcement, as they have 50+ times at locations I live.
Yeah, so that was just a symbol of all this all of these things happening. That air match is just a symbol of all what you just said.
Yeah, but I think the part that we're deflecting on is that law enforcement lashes out with violence and uses people in my environment, my circle, to be in cahoots with their crimes.
You shouldn't be.
I would like to concentrate on how a law enforcement can get accountability if no one does their mandatory reporting and leaves me in it.
Okay, so in other words, what you're wanting, you want to report what obviously you're getting harmed by law enforcement.
Right.
They're leaving you in this abuse.
And they're harming me, trying to set me up with kidnapping over and over again 30 times. It's official oppression and it's criminal. Yeah.
You should feel safe with the police.
But I don't. They come out on their own and strategize avenues to set me up and enlist people to be an accomplice. So each time this man can illegally monitor me and he can see when I purchase things and he gets jealous and for his sadistic behavior, he just has them put me out over and over again. Yeah. That way he can see me and get off on me fanning going location to location that's lying and saying that they're filled by the hands of law enforcement officials. Going location to location here and there, be terrorized on transit, are the same pattern over and over again, each location I flee, year after year.
This is like a pattern.
Right.
It continues.
And I've never met anyone with my authentic interest at heart. Everyone I have ever met has been an accomplice for cover up for this man. If they didn't start out that way, they would be at the end.
I see what you're saying. It seems like every person that's been in your life, Kiana, it seems like they are just out to get you in some kind of way. It sounds like they're all these people seems to be in cahoots with your abuser.
Right.
No matter if they're a mental health organization, the police, it seems like to you that these people are harmful.
Well, what would you perceive? You have my YouTube channel, right? If the police department's coming out on their own, and if these scammers are hanging up in my face and people are putting me out, violating my constitutional rights, you saw to me, but some kind of way you're covering for someone saying that I'm going to rape you, murder you, kill you, as well as the police department. We're deflecting on the fact that this man is threatening my life and I've had 30 false arrests and you're trying to deceive me and others that this isn't happening, even though it's uploaded to the channel you claim that you have. And everyone that was a mental health provider did the same thing, which is mandatory reporting, and what you're doing is criminal. And you're deceiving yourself and others, leaving me in the abuse, and that's part of it. So you are actually part of the conspiracy. You're deflecting on the fact that you did see emails stating I'm going to murder you, I've raped you already, and all that, but you're wanting to deflect and cover for it and say that it's in my mind like every other mental health provider that I've had. You smell the water, you did say that it was weird. I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So in addition to all that, you don't care about that for some reason. You're trying to slander me and say it's in my mind, but you have evidence and you have records that haven't been furnished there, which is criminal. Altering hospital records, that's another crime. But we're deflecting on crimes people around me keep committing year after year and trying to slander me. That's a false report, which is criminal, to try to keep this man from his charges. You're all aiding and abetting his crimes, which is criminal.
Well, first of all, I agree with you. I did smell something in the water that day. That I agree with you on. That water did smell funky.
Well, he had sent me an email saying he did it, and it didn't smell like that at first. Mm-hmm. And then when I asked them about the water, they ignored me. Mm-hmm. And then after, it blew over, poison in the water supply is a terroristic threat, and for no one to investigate it and blame me and try to set me up for it is a threat to the other party's safety. So nonetheless, the water has been corrected, but they were infuriated that I recorded crimes like every other place I've ever lived and put me out over it on false reports, which is criminal. But I believe that local law enforcement, like every other jurisdiction that I've been in, is behind it. And they are listing everyone in my contact list and people around me to help conceal their crimes. And the evidence of that is you guys altering documents, which is criminal. And we can't furnish these documents on why they perceive that I'm delusional. When they didn't, they claimed that they didn't exist. Some kind of way you guys have a perception that I'm delusional with medical records, which is a crime and malpractice lawsuit. But everywhere else I've been has had the same pattern of behavior to conceal crimes, which is, like I said, criminal.
Okay. Well, tell you what we can do today, I want to be able to help you get that documentation that you need. I
would like to concentrate on fleeing this man because my safety's at risk. He's threatening to rape me, murder me, and the police department keeps trying to set me up and they react with violence. So I'm scared and they're putting me out here to cover for this man. And they've done it 50-something times. So I'm afraid for my safety that my device is hacked and they leave me trapped in it for profit. And these are racked up criminal charges for local law enforcement. They know that I'm in a crisis. He says that he has been here paying off these people. So they react with violence from each year for me trying to flee this man.
May I may I offer you my professional opinion?
I would like to work on fleeing this man.
Yeah, that's about the fleeing of the opinion. Is that okay if I offer my professional opinion about fleeing?
Okay.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
Where do you see yourself living at that you feel safe?
Each time I flee, no one does their mandatory reporting, and he just buys off each location. So I would like a advocate and help that other women get. Other women probably locations don't demand that they set up their own strategy low key. They have victims advocates and parties that help them place them in a safe environment. I've never seen it.
Well, just so you know, every time I meet with you, Kiana, I'm documenting.
I would like to flee, ma'am. I want to because I've never seen it. No, this is my life is at risk. Okay. I don't want people to document for 10 years, including law enforcement. I just simply want to flee.
Okay. All right. So I can help you get to another house if you want to get to another house outside of this location. Are you looking at maybe moving into city limits in Victoria?
I don't know what to do, ma'am, because it keeps happening and no one will have the source be put under control. What are my options? I don't know what to do.
Can you get a restraining order on this man? Like if this man were to
the police come to interrupt me, they react with violence and have locations put me out and have never been there. I try to pick up criminal charges for local law enforcement because they put my safety at risk by demanding people that put me out when my abuser's mad. It makes me feel scared. It's happened 50-something times.
Okay, so you're saying that the police officers will not allow you to put a restraining order on your abuser?
And I have it uploaded, and you say that you've been on the channel, but I'm not quite certain on why you aren't concerned about the death threats and the threats of rape that you witnessed.
I am concerned about it. If it's a concern for you.
Yeah, and especially if local law enforcement repeatedly takes my freedom, kidnapping 30-something times, that's criminal. That's evidence that they react with violence.
So what would you say if me and you call the police department together and talk about getting a restraining order on this man?
They set me up. They may put my safety at risk.
Well,
they try to set me up and frame me with mental illness. You can call them on your phone. I don't want them to come out because this location is scamming.
We don't have to call.
Okay.
They don't have to come out. We can call together, you and me, and we could see for ourselves what they say.
Okay, because they haven't let me flee in all this time.
Okay. And then I can maybe talk to what I can do. I can help with trying to bridge that communication gap. I don't know if there's a communication gap.
I just really would like to address the fact that local law enforcement is reacting with violence and you oppressing a government. I'm a witness and they're using official oppression, which is my report to you. And you claim that you have my channel, so you have evidence of it. They're covering for someone saying, as well as this environment, that I'm going to rape you, I'm going to murder you, and claiming to stalk me and have this location bought off and paid, as well as local law enforcement. And I asked for the case management they offer here. They walked off while I was saying, please, ma'am, I'm getting threats to rape, murder me, and all of this. And they are depriving me of case management and tried to set me up and demand that I get mental health treatment. And then are putting me out each time my abuser's mad. On the 25th, they gave me a notice. And then he was mad. I got it uploaded where he says that he's mad. Because I asked him, why can't I get married like he can? So immediately they gave me a notice. And then the next day, they gave me a notice when he was mad. Then the police tried to set me up. And this has happened every single time.
I can see how it's a huge coincidence. Anytime something happens.
It's not a coincidence, ma'am. That's not, my report isn't being heard, and I think that's a red flag.
It's a huge red flag, yes, ma'am.
Because why all mental health providers can't see what's staring in front of them. I think that altering your records is a red flag. That's criminal.
Okay. Well, can we go back to the protective order?
Yes.
Okay. So what we can do today, let's go ahead and maybe call the police, you and I together, and we can talk about how to get the process of getting a protective order established.
Okay, you sure that if they harm me and assault me like they did at New Beginnings, because they lash out with violence and they use accomplices to conceal their crimes.
Well, I'm here to make sure that doesn't happen.
Well, how do you report it? I mean, I thought it was criminal for you not to report my official oppression to someone. I thought you committed a crime if you did not rescue me from law enforcement abusing their power with violence.
Well, I won't know until we make that call.
You have my YouTube channel. You know that they've came on their own, and you saw that I'm telling you, and I have videos uploaded where it shows evidence that I was assaulted and arrested by law enforcement. And they came multiple different times. If you have my channel, I'm not quite certain of your inability to see that. And they're being accessory and covering up for their crimes is criminal. If you witness my YouTube channel and you turn blind eyes with certain positions, it's criminal. You just can't do that. And all mental health providers have done that, committed that crime.
To be honest, I haven't watched everything on your YouTube channel.
Well, I think that you should watch things that concern my safety. If you're my case management, if you exclude something that endangers my safety, that is not the best interest for me.
Let me ask you something, Kiana. Is there something on your YouTube channel that you want me to watch right now? Me and you can watch it together.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to pause it?
Yes. Okay, so what happened was that all law enforcement, I'm being legally monitored by law enforcement.
Okay.
So since I knew that I raced a spur of the moment to a domestic violence rally, marshals came. The same marshal that had put me out from getting housing at the municipal, it was a government office.
Okay.
So I went there for housing solutions.
Okay.
He denied me entry into the building, and I had caught the bus and that same man right there. So I raced to a domestic violence rally because the police department repeatedly interrupted me from fleeing. Okay. So since they kept interrupting me for fleeing, I was like, I got you. There's no way you can shut down this domestic violence rally. They shut down the domestic violence rally.
Really?
Yeah, that's right there.
Department.
Yes.
Your phone went black.
So you perceive it, what do you think domestic violence rallies are about?
Usually with other domestic violence individuals, and they are trying to get access to help resources to help them escape that.
Right, but you just said that you were trying to, at the domestic violence rally, trying to get housing. That's what you just said.
Well, that housing is one of the resources. A lot of people who have experienced domestic violence, what they're trying to get access to.
Right, but you thought that I just went to the domestic violence rally for the housing and not to flee abuse.
No, not necessarily.
That's what you just said, that you went to the domestic violence rally to get housing. Did you say that?
I apologize for the misunderstanding.
Because all my mental health providers have misunderstood.
Well, I apologize.
It's kind of like condescending when it happens repeatedly over and over again.
Can you help me understand why you went to that domestic violence?
So are you a social worker?
I'm a case manager.
Okay, so why would you perceive that someone would go to a domestic violence rally? I think it's in the title.
Well, there's a lot of different reasons why people go to a rally.
Okay, let's discuss what you believe it would be.
Okay, so it could be freedom of speech.
Going to a domestic violence rally, you think that?
Speech.
So you just think it has nothing to do with fleeing abuse at a domestic violence rally?
It could be fleeing abuse, yes, ma'am.
I think the title has really. I just don't understand why all parties around me let me sit in it. So I think that it's pretty peculiar if you don't understand a domestic violence rally. The title is domestic violence.
Can I ask you something?
That could be why I never had to flee abuse with my mental health providers all these years or any other location I've ever been in.
May I ask you something?
Sure.
When you went to that domestic violence rally that day, that was in Dallas.
Yes.
And I saw the year, I think it was in 2022, I believe.
Yes.
Help me understand why you were there.
I've reported this man to you, and everywhere else I have been has ever covered for it. There's been cars coming at my child, me, friends. I get threats all the time, and every workplace I have ever been has covered for them. Influencing government officials is a felony. Allowing yourself to be influenced makes you an accessory. They've 30-something false arrests at his hands. That's kidnapping. Leaving me in jail with time served is indeed kidnapping. Corruption with all these courts to conceal the crimes. Police came on their own multiple different times here. Sheriffs trying to set me up. Then at Mid-Coast, they were enlisted to not help me flee abuse. I was released for trying to report death threats. Collins arrested me for trying to report these same crimes. And this man's abuse that everywhere else I have been has always covered for. So I was getting death threats and was arrested. They reacted with violence, with kidnapping by false arrest for trying to report them. They let me out, and I was terrorized in jail, put on lockdown, and mistreated. So nonetheless, after that transpired, they dismissed the charges and let me out. Then after I got to Mid-Coast and relocated, he got mad again. They claimed, they scammed that it wasn't dismissed, even though they released me. Then when I uploaded videos and had meltdowns that he repeatedly is allowed to abuse this much power, they scammed that they let it go if I went get mental health treatment from you guys. And then you guys committed crimes to cover for them and altered documents, which is criminal, and can't find your records to cover for crimes, which are, I thought, federal charges. But nonetheless, you scam that you can't find your records, but I have delusions to conceal crimes that the police department committed, as well as everywhere else I've been. So now your scam is that I have delusions, but you have no records. Then this person that they repeatedly tell me to call has never called me back. So your scam is that you're treating me for delusions, but have no records. So then I said, well, let's get the records, let's try to find the records. And then they said that the scam is that this is all that hospital has sent us, but you're some kind of way you're treating me for delusions, but you have no records. And then some kind of way is you're committing malpractice crimes by not actually getting the records. So you're treating me and have no records and have no desire to find those records. But the records actually altered because it said that I wasn't arrested for trying to report death threats, and you saw the video, which is criminal for them to do that. That's showed the clear-cut accessory charges and them reacting with violence when I try to flee this man. And they came several different times on their own, made false reports to set me up at this location. So if the police department has reacted with assaults and violence for me trying to flee that man, why would you perceive that I would be at a domestic violence rally? If I'm getting assaulted, arrested, and violated multiple different places, pushed and shoved for trying to flee him, and they react in violence and everybody I come in contact with covers for it, why would you perceive that I would be there?
Sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you were there to advocate for yourself.
Right, since nobody else will, even though doing so is criminal for a lot of parties. Since I didn't have that option that other women have to flee, I had no other objective to race to this location with my life, knowing that everybody I came in contact with, my contact list was monitored. Everything I do was being monitored to enlist no remedy and no possibility for me to flee, because it's by the hands of crooked law enforcement that don't have my best interest at heart. And they enlist 50-something put-outs. My PNS tried to steal my ID. When I uploaded it, they found it. SMI1 card, cancel my card, and malice to leave me in jeopardy without any kind of consequences. Buses have drove into other buses. I've been kidnapped on trains and buses, and it's uploaded to this channel. And if you're my case manager, I'd like for you to advocate for me like your job description requires. So some kind of way everywhere I'm at, all mental health providers I ever came in contact with was actually trying to cover for it. But you have responsibilities to not get in trouble yourself. There's mandatory reporting. And if you have access to my channel, I'm not quite certain on why you did not look at a law enforcement abusing their power to terrorize me and putting my safety at risk.
That right now.
Okay, so I got there, and then they closed down when I got there.
Leaving at 12:20 something.
Can I hold it?
Yeah, that's why I'm handing it to you.
Are you not willing to help me?
That man I already had interaction with. He wouldn't let me in to get housing.
Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to leave till 1. Well, we don't have control over that. Well, I don't know why the police is here, because they've been enforcing my abuse for years. And this is a whole domestic abuse rally that multiple police are at. Okay. And they enforce crimes for me. Okay. So I don't understand why people are packing up leaving early. Because it's an event that is driven by a community organization. I still haven't got services as I haven't received for years, and all these police are here at this rally. And no one seems to be concerned about this flyer and my megaphone. No one's taking down these numbers. You didn't ask me if you could fail me. What? Number 1. Oh, well, number 1. I just want to concentrate on my domestic abuse. Okay, but I understand that, but what's your name? No, I'm not going to want to get right now. Okay. Because you didn't ask to fail me. Okay, well, everyone's packing up and leaving. I came all the way to this rally and I don't get services. But and you're leaving early. I'm about to take you to the person. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. You can't just keep taking out phones and shoving them in people's
She's lying to validate the fact that they closed down early.
I'm trying to escape domestic abuse at the Fallon.
I recorded because they shut down when I got there, and law enforcement was there when I arrived, guarding the rally. And it's happened all, as you can see, years.
Anyone that will help with domestic violence abuse. Okay. She referred me to you. Okay. Yeah, I do sexual assault.
So she referred me to someone that can't help in their scam.
Check the YouTube. Oh, you did. Did the YouTube trigger? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can't find this Bridget. I was trying to.
They don't know I'm recording because they would.
I don't understand why I'm at a domestic. She's recording. I don't understand why I'm at a domestic violence rally and you guys can't assist here. Again, you tried the city of Dallas because they've already left, so that's who I was. Early? Yes. I came all the way here. I seen the police here. Once the organizers are done, they have the ability to.
But why would they not care about my life? If I'm seeking help and you're leaving early, leaving me in my crisis like everywhere else I've been.
They want to help you.
Right, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
By the hands of law enforcement.
She has things in her hand. I get that, but she just got that off the table. But I can give you. Well, I didn't get anything off the table.
They hid their documentation and any ability to flee, hid it.
The police has something to do with these crimes going on. Police right there. There's multiple police here.
They're guarding entryways. You see them?
I see the police there.
You see multiple guarding entryways?
Police there, yes.
That's why the rally got shut down.
A multitude of people at a whole domestic violence rally. The police was over there, left Dodge. He has these people in forced crime. crimes. This is a whole rally. They're packing up, leaving early. You have to see it to believe it. I wanted the paperwork that the other parties had.
So they hid the paperwork.
Told me how to escape domestic abuse as a whole rally for domestic abuse that the government enforces for profit. This is a whole rally, and no one has given me any information on how to escape domestic abuse that the government enforces. I'm disregarded.
So I'm telling them about my crisis just like everywhere else, ignoring me. And that's mandatory reporting, that's criminal.
I'm a realtor, but I'm also active in the community. I'm not able to, places deny me services all over, including this rally that I tried to hurry up and get to. People don't want to be involved in helping my family escape abuse, and there's multiple police here. I don't understand why domestic violence organizations and a whole rally that police are guarding would deprive me of assistance to escape the government's abuse. There's child abuse involved, and I've never seen a whole rally pack up and leave like City Square when I get here early, that the police guard and enforce, and the police disappeared.
It sounds like you're not being heard.
Well, it sounds like government officials aren't getting criminal charges for their behavior. And it sounds like they're enlisting a lot of parties to be in cahoots with their crimes, which makes them accessories.
How to escape domestic abuse that the government enforces, as I have not been provided years at a whole domestic abuse rally. Did the police tell you to deprive me of any assistance at this rally? Because no one's trying to help when I said that the government enforces domestic violence. No one is helping. Oh, well, where's the assistance? People are packing up, leaving, ignoring me. I'm fighting for my life, and no one at this domestic violence rally cares.
At this point, ma'am, I do apologize for your situation, but I brought you to a group that was...
They haven't given me anything.
Again, and I'm asking you...
She was recording.
She's gonna record.
They're panicking because they're breaking the law.
Oh, okay. Given anything.
There's mandatory reporting.
Again,
I wanted to give you a part of it. Oh, I wanted to get feedback from this rally on how to get the state government. No party will go there.
They're guarding the doors. You see how they're guarding doors and intimidating people? All that law enforcement.
this is what I'm telling you. At this point, I'm not trying to be combative, not trying to be ugly too. The event is over. The organizers of this event ended the event because of their time restraints and the public people that came. So the public did not come to the event.
The public, I'm there trying to flee abuse, but the public isn't there. The public did not come. I'm the public, but repeatedly I'm ignored. By the hands of law enforcement, you see them. Several different parties.
So, can I pause it real quick?
Sure.
Okay. So, I heard the lady several times say that the event was over. What time was the event? What time did it start?
I got there early. It wasn't over. They closed down early.
Okay. So
but multiple different locations strategize the avenue not to get these charges because conspiracy to violate rights is a felony. They're coached on how not to pick up charges for their actions. So there's a compulsive lie and an alibi for everything. They just can't put me out here. So they have to scam that they're threatened by me calling law enforcement, reporting my abuse. Because they know that if anyone were exposed, this would reap criminal charges. So you just can't say that I'm doing this. There has to be reasoning behind it to not go to prison and get accessory charges. So what was happening, and you'll see the officer come later, he already denied me access to housing solutions. I was scared, and then law enforcement abuses power and enlists locations to leave me in this man's abuse when he threatens me year after year every single time. Everyone I come in contact with leaves me in it to the degree I had to live in a tent. I begged, please, I'm scared, was met with handcuffs and assaults just for simply trying to be safe. Put out 50-something times.
A lot of times.
Right. And as you can see evidence, there's countless others. Sometimes fleeing abuse was met with assaults and arrests. They've came to domestic violence organizations. They've came to churches. And what they're doing is criminal. And all parties that wants to be in cahoots with it for cover-up for insanity like this can be on the verge of accomplices charges, criminal charges as well. So what you have just witnessed was police department shutting down a rally to keep me from fleeing abuse. And that man had already did it at Housing Solutions to keep me on the streets. And they've been getting away with it years.
Wow.
It puts my safety at risk.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. You go to these organizations for help.
No one does it. No case manager. They all try to set me up and cover for the police department all these years. No family members, everyone. All they do is blame me and trying to frame me for me being violated. Support and love. I believe I'm being highly monitored and everyone is being cahoots. Forced to be in cahoots. People have had accidents that were in my circle, shot up homes, car windows busted out. So the government is acting and has mob-like mentality and no one's placing them under control. And when they lose power, they react with violence, which is the assaults, the false arrests, and all of that. So do we have any solutions? So you said that perhaps maybe we can, try, but here's the problem. As you can see, that they enforce crimes and they lash out with violence for me trying to flee this man.
We can try to contact the Victoria PD and let them be aware. We can make them aware of the situation of the abuser. They might have some questions.
I'm not really being heard. The problematic part is the abuser is not only the one that's facing criminal charges. Mm-hmm. Law enforcement have being put on a leash by this man is facing criminal charges themselves.
So law enforcement, okay.
As you can see, law enforcement just committed a crime in front of you, shutting down a domestic violence rally to keep me from fleeing. You saw all those large law enforcement guarding each access to the rally and the door. And they've done it, demanded that I stay in domestic violence, in this crisis. So we have a conundrum because law enforcement is my minions and my abuser's minions, and they enforce his abuse for profit. And they are facing their own criminal charges. So by people repeatedly protecting criminal police misconduct and sheriff misconduct and criminal activity puts my safety at risk. So not only is it my abuser, law enforcement is facing their own criminal charges for their behavior. They're being influencing government officials is a felony crime.
I see what you're saying. So would you like to report the law enforcement to a hotline maybe
you're a case manager, okay. So I don't really have the answers. That I can't find anyone that's not, trying to have me coach me to have my own answers that I don't have. Other women have case managers and advocates that give them information on what can benefit them. I haven't seen it. My case managers low-key demand that I find my own avenue to get out my own problem, which the answers I don't have. But other women have someone that advocates for them, that calls the police department and advocates and says, you are committing crimes here. Why are you not investigating this woman 300 and something reports? I've never seen it. They have all been in accomplices, all my case management. I've never seen anyone that had my best interest at heart, ever. And I think that that's a red flag. They're being coached and controlled, which is criminal. So if you were indeed my case management and you had answers of your own, because I don't know the answers, because I've been trapped in it, as you can see, that the police department came and interrupted a rally. Now they're working low key and demanding civilians take the fall for their crimes. As I addressed before in this video, and I'm sure people didn't believe me, they came countless times on their own to put me out of location. When they incriminated themselves, they demanded other parties to take the fall for their crime, which is criminal. Yet nothing's been done for 10 plus years.
I can share a number with you for you to call.
Is there a particular reason why you won't do your mandatory reporting, even though it's a crime?
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the mandated reporting again. I'm still trying to get all the facts from you.
I think that it's time sensitive and my safety's at risk.
Okay. Yes.
By everyone not committing a crime and not doing their mandatory reporting.
I hear what you're saying. Yes, you gave.
Because you see, in this country, I don't matter. So it's going to have to take people to get their criminal charges for not doing their mandatory reporting and being accomplices and letting me sit in it to protect this man.
You do matter, first of all.
Well, people are not acting that way because they're committing crimes to leave me in it. You not doing your mandatory reporting is criminal. And nobody else has done it and hasn't received any charges.
So is that okay if I give you my professional opinion again?
I just don't want you to break the law and do your mandatory reporting if you see that this country has given me no rights and corruption.
I'm not going to break the law because I value my career.
Well,
not
then
to
I'm
do that.
asking for you to do your mandatory reporting. If you have evidence that I'm being terrorized by law enforcement
Okay.
and not to get charges, you have to do mandatory reporting to not get charges
Listen to
by
me.
your position.
Okay, I'm going to give you my professional.
I just don't, I think that we're deflecting on the fact that I don't want my mental health providers covering for criminal activity and not doing their mandatory reporting when it's a crime.
What I was going to say. Right now, listening to your story for the last, I think this is our fourth session, because we had some phone conversations. Listening to your story, as of right now, I don't have enough facts.
You just have it in your hand that the domestic violence rally was interrupted, but I just don't think that people are getting their accountability for the criminal activity. So if you're covering for that, everyone has done it. So, okay, you have to cover for it, and I don't want my experiences be prearranged. So can I ever flee? Ever? You think I have to endure this the rest of my life?
It's possible to get to live.
How? If everyone I come in contact with aren't reporting it and leaving me in it year after year, 10 plus years. It's impossible.
It's very possible to live a positive life.
How? If everyone is letting this man put me out 50 times, covering for the police coming to domestic violence rally, assaulting, arresting me, someone threatened to rape, murder me, poison water supplies, witness it, and has an alibi strategy to cover for all of it year after year. How is it possible for me to have a normal life when the police lie on me and try to set me up and come on here on their own for trying to protect myself against these emails and abuse, and they come on their own and slander me and make false report, alter videos to cover for crimes? How can I have a normal life? Because each time the rug is wiped up under me, each time I'm in this environment, fixing it up and doing things, I'm not doing anything to anyone. So like my dad is cut off. Someone's threatening me, coming at me with cars. IDs come up missing. I just tried to go to school here. I wasn't doing anything to anyone. So then the car came at me. Someone tried to bust in the bathroom. Someone was threatening someone that wasn't there. All kind of following me in, and now I can't report it. Someone tracking me down at locations. And then on my phone, I can't use it over and over again. People acting peculiar. I can't report anything. All I ask for case management can't get it. So I don't know what to do with that. I wasn't harming anyone. People were harming me. And then when I try to report it, I get violated. I just wanted to build my life up, go to school, have a normal life. The police department setting me up. I'm getting these emails. They strategize blatant lies to interrupt my life year after year. They've done it 50 times. The only thing that I did was this man did not like me progressing with my life, and he strategized an extra strategy like he's done 50-something times.
This man has obviously done some damage to you.
Right, but I'm just not quite sure if I'm only surrounded by people that cover up for his crimes, I just really don't get fired like I haven't for 10 years.
Sounds like it's...
Even though their behavior is criminal and they try to deceive others, that it's just an impossibility. So what do you perceive that I should do? That everyone I've came in contact has covered for this man and left me in his abuse all these years, even though it's criminal.
Well, I gave you an alternative of something that I can help you with, but you have to be willing to work with me on that one.
Okay, but you refuse to do the mandatory reporting even though it's a crime.
It's not the mandated reporting. What I was telling you about...
I know, but you refuse to do that even though not doing so is a crime.
Okay, listen to me, Kiana.
I just wanted to get clarity. It was so much hard when people do treat me this way. I just wanted to see, since you see that this government is not giving me any rights, I'm concerned that everyone I've come in contact with leaves me in my abuse even though it's criminal charges. Because if you're being influencing government officials and other parties is a felony. And people are sugarcoating felonies. Okay. And you guys have integrity issues because you alter documents to cover for other crimes. And then you're scamming that you treated me for mental illness, for having delusions, for records that you couldn't furnish. So that makes you be in cahoots with these criminal charges. So if someone is repeatedly year after year controlling my environments and malice, that jeopardizes my safety, like what you witnessed me trying to flee for my safety at a domestic violence rally, and criminal police came there and shut it down to keep me from fleeing. So what concerns me is they do react with losing control and violence and won't do law enforcement for themselves. Evidence of that is my freedom being taken 30-something times in premeditation and leaving me trapped in prearranged abuse. So they're illegally monitoring me, and they leave me with all possibilities they enlist to be in cahoots. As they've done years, the tricky part is proving it. So I have had to sleep outside, terrified for my life, being trapped on trains and buses, people I don't know coming up to me, assaulting me, arresting me, uploading me, assaulting me, and trapping me in on trains and buses, threatening me, people I don't know 2 or 3 times a day, going to multiple different restaurants, just trying to buy my own business, 2 or 3 restaurants, scamming that I can't purchase food. Sometimes I couldn't eat, and I was hyperglycemic, and it made me sick when I didn't eat.
So you're just trying to live your life the way you want to live it, but these people continue to harass you.
Yeah, and you have evidence on the YouTube channel, and you're chosen, like everybody else, to commit a crime and leave me in it. So nonetheless, I try to get into domestic violence organizations and all other locations that were housing. They were committing crimes and keeping me from housing. Mm-hmm. A lot of times law enforcement came and I saw them telling locations to do this. I have multiple different uploads with law enforcement arriving with me to demand people deprive me of housing. If I'm being threatened, put off trains and buses, assaulted, kidnapped, pickpocketing, it puts my safety at risk. Robbed, wrestled down to the ground to take a device, repeatedly arrested 7, 8 police. And everyone I come in contact with is covering for the police department, terrorizing me and enlisting others to do the same thing. Denying law enforcement for 300 and something reports exposing that I've been terrorized. It's criminal, but yet nothing's repeatedly done.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
When you moved to Victoria, when you moved here, have you ever experienced domestic assault on one of our transit buses before?
I don't know, understand the relevancy of that.
I'm just curious. I just want to know, like, if you've been living here for how long now?
I haven't really used it. I know that they scam to keep me from using transit. A lot of parties have. What they did was they came early. You asked about the transit. Let me express to you what happened with the transit.
Tell me.
So the very first time I used it, and multiple different transits have done it.
Okay.
So he controls transit. So what they did was they scammed. I told them a time to come. And then I saw that they had came early because I heard it.
Yeah.
And then immediately when I went to the door, he drove off deliberately.
Oh.
But it's happened before. And sometimes they've sexually caused my life in Dallas. Uh-huh. They almost caused me to fall up under the bus and get ran over by these scams. Oh. So what they did was they deliberately drove off early. They were trying to strategize to keep me from using transit, like multiple different other transit, has done. So they said that they had actually came at a certain time, and they said that they can only stay there 5 minutes. This is what the dispatch told me for the bus. Okay. She said that they came at 5. I can't remember the time, but I called at precisely 1 minute, 1 minute after the bus arrived. So there was evidence that the party didn't follow protocol, and they deliberately left early when I came to try to catch the bus. This happened in my new locations, but it's happened in all locations. So I called them and I said, look, the bus driver's trying to scam that I can't use transit. She said, no, he came at this time. And I said, yeah, and I've been on the phone. So then she switched up and changed it. And then she said to cover for it and said that he came at another time. Mm-hmm. But really, just like your transport stop, this is what I've had to endure years. My abuser has a lot of power to abuse. He don't like me using transit, and the government spoils him, which puts my safety at risk.
You should be able to use transit when you need to use transit.
Well, yours shut down.
Well,
they're shut down.
Not because
Dallas almost let me get killed, and everywhere I go has a pathological lie to conceal crimes. As you can see, the domestic violence had a rally alibi for why they're committing crimes. Everywhere I have been for 10 years has an alibi. Their alibi here is that I was recording crimes being committed. Who would want to send yourself to prison? If my environments are controlled, they're prepped on how to get away with committing crimes. I asked someone, is there any integrity left? She said, yeah, there is. They're just not allowed anywhere around you. And what I'm experiencing is evidence of that. I don't want people that refuse to abide by the law and endanger my safety, controlling people around me. The tricky part is proving it. So I don't know what to do because all these years, people have been prepped on how to get away with committing crimes and don't receive accountability for it.
That's why you're going on YouTube and you're exposing all these
right.
things.
And then this location is breaking legal rights that I have, demanding that I not record these crimes, making them accomplices, trying to demanding that I get mental health treatment, which is another further violation of my rights. But several locations have done it. Each time a location is incriminated, all these different times, my abuser gets his gratification and don't like you losing control. So what they do each time, they set up a put out when places locations over and over again. If locations are scared and he can't get his high from terrorizing me, I can't have peace, period. I have to be treated like this. If that environment won't let him get his sexual gratification from terrorizing me, they put me out by the hands of law enforcement and put me in a place that will. And they start to repeat each location I flee is the same thing over and over and over again. At this location, my ID came up missing. PNS is recording saying that my ID came up missing. And immediately when I expose, it's a crime. They just don't want me. Let's see. Hold on.